Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're looking at a brand new Maximum monster that's also supporting Yuga. He already has one as a main version, but actually this secondary one might actually be a little bit more powerful. It's called Super Magiflag Ship Magnum Overload. So you've got the L version, you've got the Maximum monster in the middle, and you've got the right version. The L version is a level 4 Dark Attribute Machine Maximum Effect monster with 800 attack and 0 defense. The requirement is the Maximum mode to shuffle one monster from your graveyard into the deck. The effect is to choose one monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the chosen monster's level times 100. Then if you inflict damage to your opponent with this effect, you can add that monster to your hand. The Maximum monster itself is a level 10 Dark Attribute Machine type Maximum Effect monster, which has 3500 attack as its maximum attack and potentially 1900 attack if summoned in a different way. The defense is 0, and you can maximum summon this card together with the L and the R versions. The requirement is in maximum mode to send this face-up card you control to the graveyard, and the effect is to special summon up to 2 monsters from your hand. Then you can choose and destroy one spell or trap card your opponent controls. And the R version is a level 3 Dark Attribute Machine type Maximum Effect monster with 500 attack and 0 defense. The requirement is to maximum summon is to send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. The effect, this card loses 1000 attack until the end of this turn. This turn, this card cannot attack directly, but it can attack all opponent's monsters once each, and it can inflict piercing battle damage. So my assessment of this card is it's a little bit underwhelming in comparison to some of the other Maximum monsters, simply for a few reasons. The L version, okay, it's able to do some burn damage, and then you're also able to recover a monster. That's fine, but I would have preferred if it had been based on either its attack or its defense stat, whichever was higher. That way you could have inflicted a bit more. Based on whatever you're really choosing, say it's a level 8, that's me being generous here. That's up to 800 life points of damage, but then you've got a level 8 monster stuck in your hand that you might not be able to do anything with. Whereas if you choose a level 4 or below monster, you're able to do very small amounts of damage, but something that you're probably going to be able to summon a lot easier. The effect of the Maximum monster itself is the one that I find really shocking, because it requires it to be sent basically to the graveyard to actually use its effect, which you really don't want to be using with the heavy investment of these 3 monsters. It does allow you to special summon up to 2 monsters from your hand, and then be able to rip away one spell or trap card your opponent has. But this is a very desperate strategy. It might be useful if you've already lost one of the other pieces, or maybe 2 of the other pieces of your Maximum monster, because that way you really have this card as a 1900 attack monster, and at least that way you're getting more field presence, replacing the other 2 cards, as well as ripping one of your opponent's cards, which I think is more of a way of saving yourself rather than actually going on the offensive. The final monster, which is the right version, sacrifices 1000 attack points, so that would make it a 2500 attack monster, with the ability to attack all of your opponent's monsters and inflict piercing battle damage. That's okay if your opponent is running a very defensive style of deck, because that actually might total enough damage to deplete your opponent's life points. But it also risks actually weakening your condition if your opponent happens to have something that's of similar attack to this stat reduction, and they happen to have anything that boosts their own monster's attack points. You could end up walking into a trap which actually destroys your own monster through that battle. Or actually the Maximum monster is a bit more unusual because there's only 1 or 2 examples that don't grant the Maximum monster a trap card destruction immunity. This is one of those examples, and I don't necessarily think for what the trade-off of the other effects that this is necessarily good enough. What do you guys think of these 3 cards? Is this something you consider using? Do you think this is actually stronger than Yuga's other Maximum monster? I will leave that in the link below so you can actually check out that video as well. If you have any comments, please leave those down below. Do you like the card, or do you think it's particularly too weak? Make sure to like the video as well, and don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content.